thesipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
Why wait for fall? Deer season is here now at Landmark Implement. Through June 2nd, get up to $3,000 off select John Deere compact utility tractors or Gator XUVs, or choose 0% APR financing on the hard-working 4044M, 2 Series, 3D, and 3E compact utility tractors or full-size Gator models. There's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Deere. Hurry into Landmark Implement today and take advantage of these offers and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey, it's Chad with Nutrition Authority inviting you to stop in and check out the #1 selling complete post-workout product, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out, exercises, or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today, try a free sample, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. We'll see a high around 65. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly cloudy, a low near 51. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, otherwise partly sunny and breezy, with the high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Brought to you the New School Way. We are brought to you by the Mercado. 3 Lincoln locations, 1 up in Omaha. We're a little bit cut back because the Royales are going to be on. We got about 13 and a half minutes. I'm going to give a portal update. Quiet as kept. Purdue Boilermakers are making some moves in the portal. Now, granted, they lost a lot of players, but they're getting some now guys that have been in, the SEC and actually they got a safety from Northwestern. They've been doing a pretty good job. Now, when you have to go in there and your name and your name is always up there, that lets you know that you got a lot of holes to fill. So it's a better problem not to have as many Nebraska signs up there. But Purdue, it just surprised me that, he was able to, or they've been able to go in and make some hay, because Purdue is not a destination location. By any means. Yeah, by any means. But they've done a good job. and we'll see what happens with them. You know, the one thing about, remember the fallout from Marshall and not renewing their coach, and all the whole team went in the portal. One of the last guys out there, Ashton Heflin, is headed to Texas State. Linebacker, 6'1", 223, 225. So they all found a place so far, so we'll see. And, you know, as you mentioned, Shamar Brown going to Miami, you know, it's kind of 50-50. And, you know, for Nebraska, I mean, I can't speak for Nebraska, but, you know, for Nebraska, it's a little bit easier. Not easier, but, you know, you got a Big Ten starting running back, your caliber running back in Emmett. And then now it puts more pressure on the guys behind Emmett. It was Quentin Ives,
Makai
Nelson, everybody. So you got to step up. And sure, you could argue, you know, Shamar Brown would have came in and did this and did that, but ultimately he's not coming. So that story is null and void. And you wish him the best. It's not, you know, any ill will. So you just got to say, okay, well, he's not coming. But more importantly, if it was somebody, if I was one of the guys that aren't a starter, you know, I'm sure they've been told what they need to do, but then also I understand it's part of the business that, you know, they're always going to try to upgrade players, and especially one with somewhat of a local feel to it. So, wouldn't be discouraged about it. I'd actually be encouraged by it. You know, obviously, whether you got by the skin of your chin, you know, chin, or skin of your teeth, or whatever they say, but ultimately, you know, you live to survive another day. But more or less, what do you do with this opportunity now? And now you get to attack this offseason, understanding where you're at, what you have to do. Now, sure, you could portal guys. Things could happen in college football, and it could be an option again. But more importantly, I think right now, it's time to really try to separate yourself, and then also gain some ground and really, you know, lock down a position, and then be ready to prove it when you get a chance.
How much of that will come down to special teams too? I mean, we know Ramir Johnson was a huge part of special teams.
Yeah. I mean, it should anyways, just because of the nature of the beast. I mean, that's how you get on the field. It's no different than, you know, basketball analogy. You know, a guy that's on, say, let's say a star-studded team, but you're a guy that can come off the bench, play excellent defense, low turnover to your ratio, assist-to-turnover ratio, very high assist-to-turnover ratio. But you want, you're bringing good energy. You dive on the floor. You keep the ball moving. You know, say you got to do that early in your career, and then the more you play, the more opportunities that you'll get. You'll get a couple sets run from you, then you score. It's no different than that. If you want to get on the field fast, no matter where you're at, here, Alabama, Georgia, USC, Oregon, it's special teams.
The other part I wonder about with running backs, and I'm glad I'm talking to a former running back. I know that's what you are at heart. I feel like running back could or should be a position that you can be a young guy come in and make a difference right away. Am I underestimating the importance of the difference in speed from high school to college, or am I underestimating the importance of, you know, pass blocking and little things? I feel like running back's a position where if you have a dude who's a home run threat that you think can average, you know, 4.5, 5 yards per carry, don't you just throw that guy out on the field and see what you can do when you haven't had a running game like Nebraska has? It seems like for years, Jay, it's been, oh, well, this guy, you know, isn't good enough in pass protection. He's got to shore that up. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I feel like running back could be, at least from the outside, a position where you take the good with the bad, and you just hope that at the end of the day, the good outweighs the bad.
There's some truth to that, but I think more importantly, young running backs, you know, you're being able to do the holes are the holes, you know, and so you got to be able to read blocks and set up your blocks, and so that's the same thing you got to do in high school. So I think that's probably the easiest position.
That receiver?
In this day and age, because you're not really reading coverages on the run, but more or less in that, and the receiver is a little bit is as easy because you can scheme up some things, you know,
right?
Bubble screens, now routes, smoke routes, and all that, you know, comebacks. Now you can get some volume catches, and you start making guys miss, and then now all of a sudden you're Jerry Rice, right? And but I think with running back, I think it's just, you know, physically, are you ready to do it? Mentally, are you ready to do it? And then more importantly, how much or how fast?
What are the mental pieces for a running back?
I was going to just say that third down. Because if you only can just run the ball, you can't play.
No.
You got to be able to be a factor in the passing game.
Yeah.
And the passing game isn't only just being able to go out and run routes. You got to be able to pick up blitzes. You got to be able to communicate. You got to know the checks just in case you're on the road and you can't hear anything. You might be up against the play clock. You have to know if a linebacker shifts or a safety comes down or they walk up a outside linebacker that it changes the protection. And then you got to go out there and execute. And then also the most important thing is you can't put the pill on the ground. And so, I think it's just one of those things that, when you had a chance to get a guy, it'd been great, but it didn't work out. And so you just kind of move on from there. And the portal's open. I think Grant Segrin's in there. I think he's the offensive tackle.
Yep. Former tight end move.
Yeah. Jack McAllister is at Purdue. And then Arik Gilbert, who's kind of was here. And then he got in the news for the wrong things. Hopefully he's gotten, with him being 6'5", 275 and being one of the top, he was a 5-star recruit and a top 10 recruit and a good player and made some plays when he was at LSU, never got off the ground here. It has nothing to do with talent.
Right.
It has nothing to do with opportunity. He's going to
Savannah State.
I thought I was going to say Jackson State because we kept talking about Deion. David Borcher's in there. He's a D lineman. Evan Taylor's in there and Ian Flint. So again, Nebraska's not losing a lot of players, and that's good.
The biggest contributor Nebraska's lost to the transfer portal so far is Jalen Lloyd back right after the season.
Yeah, or Mekhi Bear.
Yeah.
Mekhi Bear.
But I'm gonna give him the short shrift because he's already back in the portal.
Yeah, and he's already at North Carolina with Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I wonder how the interview went.
We're not talking about that, Jay.
Yeah.
Did you ever imagine in the NFL you're playing against the Patriots that Bill Belichick's downfall would be a 24-year-old he met on a flight to Palm Beach?
I don't know if it's his downfall, but it's just drastically different than
trending that way, Jay.
Whoever he's been. What do you mean by downfall? Like coaching wise, or
Jay,
just
his mind is on anything but football right now, and that's not Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
the main thing is not the main thing right now for him, and it's never been the case.
Yeah, I don't like talking about people's personal business, but it's 50 years difference, right? Pretty much. You can't. Yeah, it's definitely different than what he's always been. This his whole career. Now I'm not going to talk about the personal relationship, right? So this obviously the cringeworthy last segment of the interview, and then the questions how they really met and all that. That's their deal, and if they're happy, then so be it.
Yeah,
I do think once that bad breakup, which I thought they were the Patriots and him, and the way that he kind of did Brady later in his career and all that, and probably the inner workings, it was a bad breakup. Wasn't, because I think Bill Belichick had signed an extension during the previous season, went in probably was trying to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, get back on track. Robert Kraft was like, you wasted your time.
What we're going to do? Who's we?
Well, when he went into that interview where he got fired, he thought that him, and
Robert Kraft
and his staff were going to, this is the plan to get back to, respectability. Robert Kraft was like, no, you fired. That's why Bill Belichick says it was mutual. Robert Kraft said he fired him. So that's where, and so that's where the pride comes in. But I will tell you, so the Bill Belichick, not immediately, but very quickly went into the media. I think that changed him. He was more friendly. He was funny. He did stuff with Peyton. He did stuff with Chad Ocho. Him and Chad Ochocinco was kind of funny because you had Chad Ochocinco that is just way out there, and Bill Belichick was giving out real, he was studying, giving awards. But I think he kind of made it more personable.
Do you think that Jeff Ulbrich is paying $100,000 out of his check if Arthur Blank hires Bill Belichick?
Now Jeff Ulbrich is fired. No, well, number one, that wouldn't happen when Bill Belichick is. First of all, Bill Belichick wouldn't be hiring him. This is not happening. Now to the Jeff Ulbrich thing. It's good. I think $100,000, is a lot, man. You got to think he was a interim head coach. No, I don't know if they gave him a pay bump, but it was only for a few weeks, so you didn't really get a chance. It wasn't like he got some huge contract to be head coach. I play with Jeff Ulbrich. He's a tough dude. He was a great teammate. He was nice. He's always good to me. And when I kind of was there for that 3/4 of the season in San Francisco, he was great to me. You know what I mean? So I like him. I know he worked his way up through the the ranks of coaching. You know, and he's out in front of it. He's not running away from it. He can't. That's his kid. And Atlanta moves swiftly. You know, the NFL moves swiftly, and then Atlanta moved even more swiftly. And they took a $250,000 fine. And then he got a $100,000 fine. It hurts Jeff Ulbrich more than it hurts Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
Or the Falcons. Arthur Blank's not playing it, but the Falcons are. It's the same thing, but it's not coming out of his bank account. But it's coming out of Jeff Ulbrich's check periodically. 100,000. So however many months are left, that's going to be it's going to be
what, like 8,000, 8,500 a month?
Yeah. And I don't know what he's making, and you know, he's been a defensive coordinator before and stuff. I just think it's so new now. Number one, and every time he sees that deduction that isn't taxes, he's going to be reminded of it.
Jack's upstairs.
But
now.
More importantly, you know, for me, like, I don't know how that happened. It's there's like the whole Deion Sanders and Shador. There's so many layers to it, but there's so many layers of this.
Yeah.
Okay, you brought your iPad home. That's cool. You left it up. Then what would make him think he needs to go through an NFL iPad to call somebody? And then you would say, okay, well, Jax, why would you record it? Why would you call period? And it's not, and I'll say this before we get off air and turn over to the rules. It's not apples to apples getting a random prank call versus getting a prank phone call on an NFL issued phone, recording it, and then it be a part of the reason why NFL's mad. It's part of their content because it was live. So you embarrass not only the NFL, embarrass Shador, and you embarrass himself. Jeff Ulbrich stood on business, man. Probably tough up there. Boy, I know he probably over there working 40 hours a day, 40 hours a week. 40 hours a day. He over there 20 hours a day.
That's 24.
Oh, he's hot.
It's a high
right
ratio.
now. I know him. Oh, he's hot. Oh, he's hot. His son ain't coming home for July 4th.
Not Memorial Day.
Yeah. And you better not call and say you need some money.
There's $100,000 I don't have. Have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's in college. You know, everybody makes mistakes. It's a stupid mistake, but it's more purposeful to it. And not a very smart decision. So either way, we're going to take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Are you a fan of local wine, craft beer, cider, or spirits? Don't miss SIP Nebraska's 12th anniversary celebration, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park, and join others who share your passion for great drinks. Enjoy unlimited tastings, live music, delicious food, artisans, and lawn games as you celebrate Nebraska's vibrant beverage industry. And when you find one you love, you can buy a bottle to take home. Choose your ticket package at sipnebraska.com. The SIP Nebraska Spring Festival, a Blur event, May 9th and 10th at Mahoney State Park in Ashland.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, We're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Cinco de Mayo is May 5th, but the party starts early this year at Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina with their street festival on Saturday, May 3rd. Come down to 8th and Q starting at 1 p.m. on May 3rd and see llamas from Sweet and Sassy's Llama Farm until 4 p.m. and enjoy face painting and balloon animals with Miss Shades at 2 p.m. DJ Wyatt will entertain from 6 to 10:30 p.m. There will be drinks, food, and giveaways, and best of all, no cover charge. It's the early Cinco de Mayo Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We're live on the stream with the Gleam. Got a text here. 3576 says, I thought it was you. Take the good, take the good with the bad, and then you get the facts of life. So yeah, I mean that's part of this. What it is, man. I think it's whether it's the transfer portal or your kid making mistakes. I mean, you just got to just somehow learn how to roll with the punches, I guess. But the one thing I keep saying, and obviously, with the draft and it's no different than the transfer portal. It's a learning process. It just with the transfer portal, just because you don't get them the first time, you get them the second time. And the draft is different because you're not choosing; they're choosing you. So you have to learn how to play by their rules. And sometimes those rules are in the common sense of things. Are they a big deal? Because you can both parties can be right, but the only party that matters that's right is the one that's paying you and the one that's picking you. That's because they make that their ultimate decision maker. So if I was a young kid, even in high school, and everything's great, don't get swallowed up in your own tornado of thinking that that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, because very easily things that you do in high school can follow you for some time. And if you follow the common sense rule of kind of stay in your own lane and work hard and treat people with as much respect as possible, it'll definitely work out for you. Now, I don't think that Shedeur was ever disrespectful to anybody. I think he probably came in and tried to go. What he tried to do is go through, and this is also something as well. The NFL has drastically changed since Deion got off the NFL Network 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But I think Shedeur tried to take the same approach that his dad took at the combine. Well, you're not your dad. I'm not Chuck. I was not Chuck Foreman. I didn't play the same position. Neither did Shedeur, but I was talking about the type of athlete, and type of prospect. And so, it was a lesson learned, a lesson paid for. He seemed to bounce back pretty well. His jersey sales are really good. He's out and doing the out in the community, which he's always done. Probably never got enough credit for it. Which you heard about some of the things he was doing on his own without cameras in Colorado and Boulder. So, it's a life lesson for him. Luckily for him, his lesson is a little bit lessened, considering that the only thing that's probably bruised is his ego. His bank account is fat. It's been fat. And probably he just understands, it's no different than, what the equation is, Austin, is like, sometimes you hang out with your buddies, you can be more free and loose. And then when you got to go for a job interview, you got to be more tightened up.
Yeah.
So it was playtime in college, which NIL, funny money. He was like, it's like being the banker in Monopoly. It's all great, except for when you got to go to work, you got FDIC and stuff like that, regulations. Right. And that's it.
The other part that I do think is interesting is that college football isn't as centralized or localized as the NFL is. The NFL is about the field, right? Yeah. First and foremost, at the end of the day.
College football is about the players.
College football is about the players. College football is a lot more regional, right? Yeah. There's a lot more, and I can say the NFL fans aren't passionate, but there's so many more subgroups of fans by college towns. It's a different vibe than the NFL in NFL towns. And there's not, one college football union, right? It's not like even all the teams in the Power Four are united behind, we all have to do what's best for the college football playoff. That's not it at all. Whereas in the NFL, when there's a rogue owner, when there's a Dan Snyder, when there are teams that are working in rational self-interest, that's all 32 teams, but then teams that are acting straight selfishly or owners that are, going a little bit crazy. And if the owners get called out for that, and they're supposed to be the ones that are like the hub of the business, that putting the league first, what do they care about one player, especially when snot-nosed rookie?
Yeah, you're just a commodity. You can call it whatever you want. You can compare it to things that weren't so positive in the past, but that's honestly, here's the deal. The NBA is about the players, right? It's the LeBron, Curry, and all them, and Ant-Man and all that. NFL is about teams or the league.
Yeah.
In the league first before teams. And the owners play a big part in that. Now, there's not as many people on the roster in the NBA, so you have to, because those are actually your direct business partners.
Yeah.
You got to go in the locker room, and you guys travel on the same planes, on private planes, and so you guys have a lot of more intimate conversations versus like football. It's constant moving roster. Obviously, in college it is as well, so you don't even have the longevity of rivalries anymore. Is very, very passive. Now, they do a lot of things that's comparable to NFL, but when you get to NFL and the way they run stuff, and they have essentially one overseer as a commissioner, works for the owners, and the players are kind of off on your own, and you got to find your way, to navigate through it, and you got to make sure that the player union rep is working for you and not with them, because it's not like baseball where it's like Tony Clark, he working straightly for the players, and he making sure they get every dollar. The NFL, is always going to be about the players or about the teams, and that's why they can make these type of decisions. And like I said, you brought up Daniel Snyder, in him being essentially kicked out of the club. Haslam has, as of right now, has been put on notice, and I think he's got it back in somewhat line.
Richardson and Tepper.
Richardson and Tepper. And that's more or less Richardson, I think, became a little bit, I think he obviously was older.
Yeah.
And that was more or less, you don't want a black eye on his legacy. Tepper, he has some eyes on him now. Now, he has so much money, and he has maybe a little bit more of
he got the warning shot. Like, hey, that's not what we do here.
And he has a little bit of a, still good connection because he was, part ownership in Pittsburgh. But he might be. He needs to tighten up. But this is what I talked about collusion. You don't have like those. They all think alike. Majority of them think alike. Some of them don't think like they understand. They all think alike. Majority of them act alike. So they just kind of knew what the deal was, and no matter how much money Shedeur Sanders got in college, he ain't even close to them dudes. So they just like, dude,
Child's play.
You're the garbage man, and like in their neighborhood, you're
Right.
in the small house, and
Right.
and we're in the States, and you're just in the little street named after you. So I think it's a harsh reality of that, but then also I think the talent isn't probably like Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams had as much or more coming in and had weirder conversations with him, with executives and more demands. He had demands for the Bears while he was in college. So I remember doing some stuff with Big Ten and then coming out, halfway through the season, what he's told the Bears, because remember people don't realize this is how quick things can change. People don't realize that he was trying to get USC to get donors to pay him $20 million to stay in college. 10 or is it 10?
10, I think. Yeah.
Right?
Either way.
To not go to the Bears.
Yeah.
Now, if Shador did that, they probably, well, that's daddy and all that. But but so he's done some things that rub people the wrong way. And so, at this point, but I think his talent allowed it. Now the talent didn't allow it. This time there's not a comparison to Eli and Shador player for player. The only comparison is the way the Manning family handled it versus the way Deion handled it. And that was the ultimate mistake. And so if I'm a younger player, again, don't have your head in the sand, walking around, and I call it getting your belly rubbed and your back, getting the pat on the backs and not understanding what's going on. Because if you're not learning from these experiences, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And it's not anybody else's job to do it. It's your job.
And more important than what's happened so far is what happens next, right?
Well, there's always somebody that's going to fall in the draft.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a story. It's always drama. That's the way it is. The NBA draft, there'll be people that don't. I mean, you got to think how many people were drafted in front of Joker.
Right. 40-some.
Yeah. So, I mean, it happens.
Johnny Flynn went before Steph Curry.
Right. And he was, I don't even know if he got to like past 3 years. And he was wild man up in Minnesota.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio made it.
Yeah.
Johnny Flynn, not so much.
Yeah. Quick, though.
Quick.
So it can happen to anybody. And I think the biggest thing is learning from it. And Shador's in a good spot. And see where it goes. And the perception and the reality thing is always, I think, is individual based. Because you got, we talked about, some of the things that, Abdul Carter asked for and all this stuff and so forth and so on. And what's a big deal? What's not a big deal? But you also got to understand where you're at in reality. And so if you get a dose of reality, you gotta be a man and handle it. And so this is going to see where this is going to be more about what he's about, what he's made of versus his talent. His talent's there. He's going to be he can be a good quarterback. Just got to work hard like everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that feeling. You get drafted, 5th round. I didn't, I was showing up to Buffalo with 2 nickels to rub, but I had no money. But, you got to go. You're not going to get every opportunity to prove yourself. You got to be ready, and you're going to have limited opportunities. That's the difference.
Are Buffalo and Cleveland the same city in different states?
Yeah. Cleveland's a little bit bigger, obviously, but yeah. Same type of people, hardworking people, love their team.
Snowy.
I think, and you both get lake effect snow.
Mm-hmm.
Hard nose, support their teams. They know good football. They know good players, and right for the picking. I think Josh Allen is perfect for Buffalo, was perfect, and developed into being a perfect guy in Buffalo. He loves Buffalo. I think Shador has a little bit harder road to go. But if he can,
you don't say.
If he can just get focused on football and work, and then eliminate all the noise, especially when it's football time, you'll have a different conversation middle of the season of next year. If you don't, then you're going to give them everything they want. The worst thing that he could do is play into their perceptions and wants. That should drive you more than anything. Because you fight 2 things, and it's the same person. And it's the belief and the doubt. And you fight not believing in the belief, because at this point with him, your ego's bruised, and it's like, do I want it? Because the soft thing is, you could just look at your bank account, and you could look at your Twitter followers or whatever social media platform. That can make you fight the belief, or build that fight building that belief.
Yeah.
But on the other thing is, don't fight squeezing the doubt. But at the end of the day, you got to do the same things to do both. And so once you decide to do it, they both will go away, but they maximize the belief.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to weather the storm that you potentially are going to have both mentally and physically in Cleveland with the storm at any point in the season. So we'll see what happens, moving forward.
How much are teams able to evaluate the circle around these guys? Right.
They know everything.
Like Shadur, obviously we've talked a lot about, but Abdul Carter, right? Like how much did the Giants know? Or did they guess that, like, hey, this guy's a risk to call up Lawrence Taylor out of the blue and ask for his number?
I think right now things are so lax, and I think these kids are so young, they don't understand the hierarchy, and he's just doing what he always done. You got to think he went to Penn State and they gave him 11.
Yeah.
So you think, this is kind of what he's done, and he feels that he's going to be a great player. You love the confidence. It's a big step up going from college to the pros. They know everything. I remember when I was potentially getting drafted. They were calling up like high school coaches and stuff like that, and asking people around, here and stuff. And
did they call Lane?
No.
No,
they ain't call Lane. I don't even know. I wonder what Lane would have said. I wonder if I ran into him and stuff. He pretty cool though. A few times I've seen him, he's pretty cool. I ain't got no beat. I like Lane. He's always been quirky. Always kind of been his deal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They called up everybody. And then, here's the thing. And this is where I'll talk about. And I understand the reasoning of being worried about Dion. I do understand it. I would be dumb to say it don't. I don't believe it. Number one, because he's a college coach.
Yeah.
He's got stuff to handle. He's got his own problems.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem that you got built up in your mind is the same thing he has to deal with back in Colorado. He's got to deal with the expectations and people doubting him.
Yeah.
He's got to be laser focused, not having Travis Hunter, who's the ultimate eraser, two-way player, Shiloh, who was a big hitter, who was probably, if he didn't get hurt and went through that little 2 or 3 weeks of not really playing well, he'd probably get drafted. And then one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, along with everybody else, the receivers and everything. He's got a big task. He can't worry about whether you're running it on third down versus passing on third medium. But I do understand it because of the iconic and the figure and the perception. And I don't know what he was up for, the Dallas Cowboys job in some form or fashion. So you're thinking like, okay, is the owner making, or did we draft him and then his dad's coming? Is his dad calling the owners up and I'm getting pushed out the door? Like, I do understand that, but I don't believe it. But I understand it. You do both. And plus, I think if you're handling business, you ain't worried about it because you're going to buck up to him. Because a lot of those coaches got more experience coaching than he does. So you really, when you know what you're doing, you can really have those type of conversations, and he will respect that if you have to have that conversation. Now, I have experience in it that when I was up for the draft, and I found this out later, I wouldn't say Denny Green was a little intimidated, like with the presence of my dad and me coming in and maybe thinking that I would have had to been pushed to start. But I know it was out there. And then I know it was out there. They was like, yeah, him and his boys, they gonna tear Minneapolis up. So I understand it. Now, my dad wasn't like that. My dad wasn't around that much. What's funny? At that point in time, there was a big issue between ownership and former players. And it was Red McCombs now.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then, before that, he had Mike Lynn. So, I guess you equate the college. It was a long time of like some serious issues that were above any of the head coaches. And it wasn't like led by my dad, but it was, Bud Grant went around a while. None of the players came around none. And then Denny Green did some good things and he wanted to do his way. And coaches are petty. Denny Green, he got rid of Chris Dolman for personal reasons. And then brought him back because, like, I need some sacks.
Wait.
And so, me dropping in, going
now
a little
the personal reason is my job security.
Yeah. I don't think that's the reason why they didn't draft me. I thought they were going to draft because Scott Studwell was I was a ball boy for Scott. I've been knowing Scott Studwell since I was in diapers. I've been knowing him my whole life. He's oddly enough, I run into him all the time when I go home. I mean, I've been knowing him my whole life. And he was a linebacker coach. He was up there. I mean, I know he wanted to draft me and stuff, but so I don't think it was apples out. So I do see how that can happen. Now, look, I didn't do anything that I want, to get in trouble or anything to get slide, but I do understand a little bit how you have a presence as a father figure. It does intimidate people. It does. I mean, and it's all perception because my dad was never around. He can't, like my dad, like I had to look for him in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I was telling somebody the story, like when I first moved to Minnesota, I played running back. I was scoring. I mean,
that band was struck up.
It struck up, I was, and my dad never got out of the car. He'd watch in the car or like when I'd play basketball. Now I knew where he'd be because he'd come in real late. Then he'd always sit up at the top. Never say anything. I think he talked to coach once or twice, and it was warranted, but he never made, so he didn't change in college either. But I mean, his biggest thing was like, figure it out, and always find a way or whatever, and stuff like that. So I don't know what I mean. I'm sure the Vikings were, and there was, and. There's guys on the team. There was guys on the team presently then that was like jealous of my dad that didn't have no reason to because they were like two different age groups.
How different is that family dynamic in the NFL versus college?
Just depends on the situation.
Like in college, it's all about relation, family, bloodline.
Yeah.
Get him here,
legacy. Get him here. Yeah, or get him here, fanfare, Twitter, and all that. And NFL is like, they don't want no problems. And it wouldn't have been a problem. I mean, heck, I was a 5th round draft choice. They could have probably cut me if they wanted. It's different though. And everybody wants to mark their territory. So I do understand where teams might have been apprehensive of. I mean, listen, the amount of stuff that comes with Shador is not in what I was bringing. I was just bringing the Minneapolis Dogs. That's all I was. And we would have never went
escalated.
Yeah. It would have just been in the beginning. And they all got, corporate jobs now. We would just been kicking it tough. But maybe, but I will tell you this. They signed another local kid that I knew very well. And he proceeded to do the things that they thought I would do. He tore up like some hotel room. I think it lasted like 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah. Well,
not one, not three.
Because they put you up because you're a rookie. They party so hard. Got kicked out of the hotel. Just imagine 7th round pick. They're like, you got to get up out of here. For cutting me. I don't even think he even got the mini camp.
Whoops.
Yeah. So it's, how it is, man. It's just part of the deal, but I do understand it.
Yeah.
Me and my dad used to laugh at it though. I had a coach or two that was like intimidating. He was like, I got more problems than worry about. He's like, you just need to play hard.
Yeah.
That was it. So, but some guys you can get in your own head, man. It's tough.
And once you get that thought in your head,
then it magnifies.
And even if you think you've moved on, it's always in the back of your head. Something's going to trigger it.
Here's where it magnifies with one coach. It magnifies with one when you know you're not doing it right. And the only reason I know you weren't doing it right because I divulge it, but it was told. Yeah. But it didn't affect me at all because I figured like once I get out there, I'm gonna play.
Right.
And I like to be in Minnesota though, man. Denny Green, plus he was having fried food and stuff on Fridays.
Woo!
Yeah.
Manny's right down the street.
Yeah, I've been a lot of home cooked meals. Listen, I might have been drafted late, but I would have been taken care of. I could hey, Austin, I would have been living large. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh yeah. I think maybe they did just like, hey, this dude gonna be down there and having a VIP card at Manny's.
Too comfortable.
Yeah, 7 Steakhouse. Yeah, don't worry about playing me. I'll stay home. I don't need to be game day inactive. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about me staying in a hotel. I've been living the high life, man. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. Come back, short segment. Then we're gonna be Lighthouse Wednesdays with yours truly.
Hello.
Yeah.
Jay
we're
Foreman
gonna do-
in the
yeah,
house.
We're going to be in the building.
Woo!
Anyways, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman? Quick segment before we turn it over to Lighthouse Wednesdays, which is always good. They got some good stuff going on.
What'd Bill have to pay you to host for him? Is he paying for David's steak dinner? Is that what's going on here?
No, I should say yes. He don't even know. Bill's gone somewhere, and I like the work. Or I love the work that Lighthouse is doing. 35th anniversary gala's coming up. Got to give the Lincoln Days tomorrow, so make sure you May 1st.
Give to Lincoln Day. That's at the end of the month.
It's the end of the month. It's April 30th.
It's at the end of May.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm wrong then. And then okay, I stand corrected. I thought it was May 1st.
Give to Lincoln Day May 29th.
But you can do it May 1st?
I'm sure you can start giving, but the actual day.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I think May 1st you can start to do it. I think. Well, if not, start saving every day for May 29th, but I think it's May 1st. I got the golf tournament coming up too, so plenty of opportunities to support Lighthouse. They do a ton of great stuff with helping kids, after school, feeding kids, mentoring kids. They do a lot of stuff with helping trades. I'm big into that, especially in this day and times. They got a great board and partnerships and stuff like that. And obviously Bill is a Lighthouse kid. So obviously, the passion and for a Lighthouse is 100% truthful. So, and Bill's a great dude. So once he asked me to help periodically, I definitely would lend my name and presence whenever I can to help highlight the Lighthouse.
Great organization.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. Hearing from Bill 3 times he's been in here on Old School, meeting him on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Top-notch dude, top-notch program, man.
Yeah, before, like the golf tournament coming up on June 9th and stuff like that, he'll start to come in. But I'm telling you, if you get a chance to go to the Lighthouse, this is what probably was the deal sealer for me. I mean, Bill, Jay Pitts, and obviously Jason Peters and everybody else and Pete, that are involved with Lighthouse. But being able to go to the Lighthouse and seeing how much they've done. I mean, they got a indoor garden. They got a basketball court. They got everything that you need for the youth that don't probably have the things, maybe on a regular basis to be successful, and that's what you want. And so that's what a great thing is. It's great to, help them out. It's going to be good for this next hour. It's going to go by quick. Got lots of great stuff going on. Stay tuned in, especially online. But for Old School, we're going to sign off until tomorrow. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. The sun is out.
About time.
Yeah, Lighthouse is here and the sun is finally out.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, all good in the hood. But we'll sign off till tomorrow, but stay tuned. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empower a child today with a teammate's mentor.